the smart helmets are really, really good for safety in so many ways.
Are smart helmets the future of motorcycle safety? We're going to talk to attorney Claude Wyle about that on today's Ask the Lawyer. Claude, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so excited to be able to talk about two of my favorite subjects. Number one, motorcycling, and number two, head injuries and head safety.
Absolutely. So first off, have you seen or tried any of the new motorcycle smart helmets? What are some of the features that you think could have an impact on motorcycle safety?
Well, Molly, I have not personally tried them, but a lot of my friends have, and I think there are some great, wonderful features. First of all, please know that I'm kind of old school, and I kind of believe in having a really good, tight, well padded helmet with no distractions at all. That being said, the smart helmets are really, really good for safety in so many ways. And they really help when somebody's out by themselves, out in the world, maybe riding in a remote area, and something bad happens. Let's face it, helmets are on your head for emergencies to keep you, to help you to not get injured. And now smart helmets are there to interact through your phone and the app with emergency personnel, your emergency contacts, and yourself. And it could be a real lifesaver. I want to tell you a story about a client of mine who had a bad crash, and his smart helmet called 911. And when he woke up, the paramedics were standing over him. Now, this was a very bad injury. And if he'd been there long enough to have to wake up and call himself, that might not have happened. And he was out pretty far from civilization. He was on a road, but it was pretty far away. I am sure that the communication system in that smart helmet played a big role in saving his life. So while I don't like anything to distract a rider, I think these new safety features in these smart helmets are very valuable.
Absolutely. Some of these tech features have been around for a while, but technology is taking them to a whole new level. What do you think, what kind of impact could this have on motorcycle safety?
I think the impact is mostly going to be good. Well, I've always been against anything that can distract a rider, but if the rider is going to have their cell phone mounted on their handlebars or somewhere on the bike anyway, and their eyes are going to steal down to their cell phone, and they're going to be looking at their apps that are telling them all the analytics that they want to learn, then why not have it all integrated into your helmet and have it hands-free? There have been systems around for years so that you can say, hey, Siri, I'm a fan of the iPhone, and I'm a fan of these apps that go on the iPhone that interact with these helmets. It is so fascinating. They figure things out in milliseconds that can help the rider get help. And then, of course, if the rider gets up and dust themselves off, I'm okay, there's a little button on there that says, I'm okay, and it'll reach out to your wife, your friends, your family, the paramedics saying, I'm okay. You don't have to send a helicopter for me. I'm really impressed with this kind of equipment, and it's not that expensive, all things considered. I am a firm believer that the helmet is there to save your life. And if there are more features on the helmet to save your life, then that's better. And I'm also a believer, if you're going to be distracted from keeping your eyes dead straight on the road or looking around, just what you need to do, if you're going to be distracted by the apps on your phone anyway, it might as well all be contained in your helmet.
Absolutely. How might one of these smart helmets help in determining fault in an accident?
Well, I think, there are many analytics, and there's different helmets, and they have different features. However, some of the analytics features will tell you how fast you were going, whether you were going up in elevation or down in elevation right before an accident. They might show, some people have cameras inside. There are many elements of proving fault in a motorcycle crash. The main assertion against all motorcyclists is they were just going too fast. So if you have a device in your helmet communicating through your phone and being preserved that says you weren't going that fast, that could be a very big help in fighting that assertion by the defendant who hit the motorcyclist.
So how do you think that these helmets stack up in terms of lightweightness and ventilation? And also, what should people look for in finding the right helmet for them?
Well, like non-smart helmets, I'm not going to call them dumb helmets, but like other helmets, it runs the gamut. You can get a $100 helmet. You can get a $50 helmet. If you want lightness, you would get something that has a lot of carbon fiber. In terms of padding, it has to have a certain amount of padding to be DOT approved and to provide the adequate impact attenuation to save your brain. There's so many different features, and it all comes down to how much you want to spend. If you want a pure carbon fiber helmet, it's going to cost more. If you want the high-end electronics, they're going to cost more. But I have a feeling, just like computers and phones, the more time that goes by and the more companies that invest in this, the prices will come down so that we're going to be able to enjoy all these great features for regular prices. I mean, who would have thought that the smartphone could provide us with so much, right? Just 20 years ago, cell phones, we had these giant shoe phones. Nowadays, so much goes through our phone and so many people use them as their main computer. Did I answer your question?
You did. Some of these, you brought up price, and they can be kind of expensive, these helmets, these smart helmets. Do you think that they're worth it, especially for people who might be on a limited budget?
Yes. I think the investment into a helmet is a very, very smart thing to do and might be a life-saving investment. So you could ask a lot of different people, but if you ask me anything about helmets, I'm a proponent of getting the best one you can get. Helmets are designed to do basically three things. One, stay on your head in the event of a collision. Two, have enough padding in there to save your brain or at least protect it from a further injury. And also three, have a hard enough shell so that road debris and rocks and things don't penetrate the helmet and injure you that way. Those are the three main things it's supposed to do. Now that we have electronics mixed into that, it's also expected of a smart helmet to call your loved ones and to call 911 and to let people know where you are. And so I think that all of this is going to become less and less expensive as more and more companies get competitive.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what technology can do for us these days. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, I'm more than happy to talk about this anytime. Any questions you have, feel free to call me.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been attorney Claude Wyle. If you want to ask him about your situation, call the number on the screen. Thanks for watching. I'm Molly Hendrickson for Ask the Lawyers.